want to introduce you
quickly?
Yeah, please. Me and Johnny met 2 years ago at one of the networking events, and we took to each other pretty quickly. We connected on a professional level. We've been following each other's careers now for some time, and finally, we are very, very grateful that you guys can come by here and share your expertise and your skill in the industry, and we're very excited to learn from you.
Awesome.
So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Christina, and everyone meeting us today. For those who don't know me, my name is Johnny Cibrano. This is Mike Cibrano. I'm affectionately known as Johnny Cheeks. Long story to how I got that name, but we are the co-founders of a design-build renovation firm called My Beautiful Home Designs. So today, I wanted to thank Christina and you guys for all joining us today. We wanted to make this fun and interactive, so definitely a more casual setting than usual with these kind of things. So I'd love to tell you and Mike tell us, you guys, about our story, how we came about our service and how we're unique compared to other general contractors in New York City, and show you some fun before and afters of some recent projects we've done, and potentially share with you guys some stories of how clients came across some roadblocks and how we navigated those issues for them. So with that said, so our story is quite unique, and Mike, feel free to chime in when you would like. So we came from corporate backgrounds. I came from 7 years as being a city and state lobbyist for commercial landlords in New York City. It sounds quite a strange transition into the construction and interior design world, but it came in handy with all the regulations and like DOB and city and state requirements when it comes to construction. I had to know when it came to speaking with elected officials, so it wasn't a complete waste of my time. Mike came from a commercial banking background, working on Wall Street for many years. So there's 3 aspects that I like to tell anybody about who we are. So obviously the construction team that does the demolition and build and installation of a renovation, the project management, and also design. So this is what I want to touch base a little bit on this. So when we talk about design, we're talking about sourcing anything from flooring, tile, cabinetry, countertops, anything like tiles, shower fixtures, hardware for the cabinetry. Basically what I like to call the hardscape of a design. So again, because everyone lives differently, these conversations that we have early on with customers is really vital. So we like to ask them, how much do you cook? Do you plan on living in this space for a long time? The aesthetic goal is really, really important. And I think our customers really appreciate that, because a lot of the times they just either don't know, or they have an idea, but they just don't know where to look or where to start. And we use our years of experience, sourcing materials that they will love, but also introducing things to them that they may have not been aware of otherwise, that enhances their aesthetic goals even more. We always want to ask people, how do you want to feel when you walk into this space? Do you want to feel super spa-like? Do you want to feel like you're walking into a serene place? Do you want something that's a little bit moodier, a little sexier, a little bit bolder? So all these things will curate that design even more. So here's some of the fun stuff. I just want to show you guys quickly some before and afters, just to show you guys really how these spaces can be transformed.
Yeah, this is my part. I love
this. So this is a Gowanus condo that we did over the summer, early fall. It was actually quite clean for as old as it is, but the customer, this is the one that didn't love natural light actually. So I think we kept it light by introducing a gloss finish modern cabinet, but she was leaning into that. It's called Japandi. It's a very Scandinavian / Japanese mix of design. So we introduced a darker floor for her, but really drawing your eye by introducing some long hardware on the cabinets, super modern appliances, just make things nice and crispy clean. We were very fortunate that we had very much free range designing this for her, and it's very rare. Usually a lot of customers know exactly or know what their style is. She was just like, go for it. So we were very, very
Is the hood, it's a round one?
It's so cool.
Yeah, the hood is round.
It's round?
Yes.
And it's attached to the wall, or it's separate?
So that's from the ceiling, and we vented it out from the ceiling.
So, but it's attached to the wall? It's not to the
No,
ceiling.
it's floating, so it's like,
So it's like,
There's probably like a few inches
wow, that's
behind
cool.
it.
I love that.
Right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Beautiful.
We went on a call with them. We're like, we have a crazy idea, and they were just go for it. So that was really fun. And these are separate, same brand but separate appliances.
It's very secure.
Is it a tile in the floor or it's a hardwood?
It's hardwood.
Do darker floors get dirty, like more visibly dirty than a lighter floor?
Naturally.
It does,
Yeah?
The
Yeah.
dust. But she keeps it clean.
I think the first thing I go to is how much am I gonna
How
have
much
to
dust?
vacuum and mop?
See, but that's great that you're saying that, because where some people love a dark floor, you can't. It's
See,
hard
I
to live
love
with.
the way it looks, I just,
Too much up.
for
Yeah.
me and with the
Maybe
dogs and
you-
stuff, I probably couldn't.
Right.
I think
But you
it's
clean it
beautiful.
only for the pictures though, not every day.
Yeah, it's only for pictures, not to actually cook. I get crazy now.
And that's just another angle, of course. Same property. This is the guest bathroom. Again, just it's tired. It had its time. And then we did
Oh,
a very
nice.
dark and moving here.
See how it's cohesive to the kitchen, but not the same, not the same cabinets, but you can see it's in the same house.
So believe it or not, the tile in the shower is the same line as the backsplash in the kitchen, just different color. And we cut it so it's different. So it still plays
It's
with,
this shape,
it.
this wall shape, but it's black, right?
yes. Whereas in the previous photo, see it's like a
Yes, yes,
light
beautiful.
sand.
Is that wood or?
Very modern.
It's like a wood
It was,
look.
it's wood look but porcelain.
Oh, okay.
And that's another thing too about how you live in the property. I love marble. I told John Barry and marble, but you can't use it. Use it in shower, it turns green. You cook a lot, you have rings on your countertop.
Yes, sure.
So like, just because you love something, we could find something that looks just like it and is actually usable. If you don't cook, marble's great in the kitchen. But
Like if you like
short in a week.
and if you like the look of a natural stone, or if you like natural stone but you need it to be durable, we would recommend quartzite rather than marble, because it's got the durability of a granite stone but the look of a marble. It's a little bit more contemporary. Here's a row house that we did recently. We actually did the house next door too, even more recently.
This one.
Yeah, so the one that we worked on more recently is a lot, in much more of a dire need of renovation than this one, but this one was just as bad, pretty bad
Collapsing.
too.
It was collapsing.
So we just gave it a little Botox.
A little lip filler.
Yeah, I gave it a little filler, BBL. But the cornices we restored and painted, we pointed brick, just gave it some dimension to make it look a little bit more aesthetically pleasing.
I love the black on top.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
And it's nice if everybody has the same.
Right,
Oh,
right.
yeah,
Yeah,
cool.
that would have looked nice, yeah.
So this house we did a year and a half later, and we did the same color.
Oh, that's nice then.
And we painted the cornices black to make it a little bit different, but still match.
Yeah.
And if you look here, it's not an expensive thing. It's just creative, right? We painted
Makeup.
the makeup, a little bit of lipstick, and we're good.
Same property. This was the dining room.
This is the after, by the way.
Clearly not. But, so this was the family that was here. They were here for 50 years. So the last time they renovated was clearly in the 70s.
Yeah.
They were using the space as the dining room, and the kitchen was actually on the other side. So we completely revamped the layout and turned that into what the kitchen was.
Wow.
Cool.
I love
So
the brick.
we exposed the brick. Although the window, it's the stained glass window, is not original to the property, it's period correct. The house was built in 1910, and we found in the early 1900s, teens, a window that would work perfectly. So that balance here was kind of making a more contemporary, clean, aesthetic kitchen, but really leaning in towards the ornate details of an older home, kind of making a little bit more of an industrial feel with that exposed brick.
Beautiful combination when you combine the modern and the old. It's really beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, we really love this one.
This one's fun.
And the flooring, is that original?
The flooring is not original for this
It's
property.
not.
Engineered floor, right?
Those are engineered. We try to make it look like it was original. That's engineered.
It looks
Yeah,
nice.
that's cool.
And engineered floor has a stigma, or at least it did.
Or the vinyl.
The vinyl, yeah. But
That's engineered.
it depends on what we're working with budget-wise. Of course, we'd love to do natural, brand new, beautiful floors, but sometimes a client either can't afford them, or they have a ton of kids and pets, and it's a high traffic area. It's a lot of, they'll get scratched up quite quickly. So we still achieve the look, but making it more practical as it's being tailored to the person that's living there.
And is the top quartz or granite?
That's a
That's
quartz.
quartz.
Quartz?
Yep, so that's man-made, but very, very durable.
Yeah, that you could drop a hot pot on the walls.
Yeah, so we work with a lot of vendors with stones or countertops. So whether it's a natural stone or it's quartz, we're starting to see a lot of porcelain being introduced in the kitchens now. It's very much been a European thing forever. The difference with those is that they're thinner, but you can build them out to give that look of them being thicker. But the benefit of having the porcelain is that you can create any design on your countertop, anything. You can book match things if you had it on the wall, and so you can get really, really
Those
creative.
kitchen handles, you can install everywhere, those, and every other kitchen,
It
like this one?
depends. This you could. It depends. Not every cabinet. Those are
Not
the
every-
lip. Not everyone you can. That's a good question. Yeah. You could do it on something like this.
Yeah.
It
But you
depends.
can do it in something
You
like that.
can do it on this.
Oh,
Yeah. It depends on what the style. Most of them are, but not every single one. The flat panels you can.
very modern. beautiful.
Another thing I'd like to mention, and people overthink this quite a bit, is appliances. Obviously, functionality is the priority when it comes to buying appliances, but they also tie into the design as well. We cry whenever we see a refrigerator that's not counter depth. Counter depth refrigerators such as this one are flush with the cabinets, whereas if you don't have a counter depth refrigerator, the refrigerator protrudes out and just makes a very choppy design. Ironically, you're technically getting less cubic feet in the refrigerator, but you're spending more for a counter depth refrigerator, but it's creating this much cleaner look. And it does make it feel a little bit bigger, especially when you're working in a tighter New York City space. This was obviously post-demo, but we moved too fast to capture the before, like the true before. But I want to show you guys what exactly is going on here.
That's a custom sink if anybody wants one.
Yeah. This is actually our personal home.
That was our,
We
that was our
were-
first job ever.
We were living like this for about 4 months because we had our corporate jobs at the time, and we would come home on nights and weekends and work on our house. This was the original 1925 tile that was behind layers and layers of kitchen renovations that were done over the years. And then we reframed the whole ceiling. We were in the process of framing the walls here. This was a window was originally here, but we closed it and then introduced a new window on the other side of the kitchen. So you're still getting natural light, but making the flow of the space a lot better. And there you go.
Wow.
So that's our space. We moved the refrigerator over quite a bit. The sink was originally in the old kitchen in the corner here, which, catty cornered sinks like that are very outdated, very impractical.
We have is there any more on
Not our.
we have
house.
hundreds of different properties and pictures. Like this is obviously a small set of our Instagram will have a lot of other
Yep.
ones. So we have different styles, different property types, commercial,
Yeah,
residential.
but wood floor again, is that like your preference or a trend
that
or
was
is it?
herringbone. Yeah, we
Yeah, the
installed that.
herringbone's cool.
Yeah, so we installed
It's
that.
beautiful.
Yeah, so we always try to incorporate as much. I like wood floors in the kitchen. Some people don't. I mean, if it's cohesive, it works. We'll do it.
Whose idea was the flower pot?
Mine.
I love it.
Right.
Pasta pot? I love it.
I didn't have a vase for these flowers, and I'm like, you know what?
No, that looks perfect.
Yeah,
Thank
a lot of
Good
meatballs
picture.
ran in that pot.
Yeah. What's fun is, but going back to the floors, we had parquet flooring throughout our house. Original 1925 parquet floors. We wanted to do something a little bit different because we were opening the space so much. We wanted to have each room be defined by some sort of detail. So even though it's herringbone in the kitchen and parquet in the rest of the house, it looks like it was always there. You would be very surprised to know that was only introduced to the space very recently. So yeah, we went more classic on this route, on this renovation. I think Dawn, you saw this
This is
house.
my favorite.
Yeah. So this was done. I think this was East Flatbush. This house was also very scary when we first walked into the
What is
place.
that, the panels?
What's that?
What are you installing
Where
there?
was this one?
Slate
Foster Ave.
roof?
Oh, Foster Avenue.
Slate roof?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
this was it was Foster Avenue. Yeah,
Yeah.
we redid the whole house in this one.
Yeah, the roofing we did.
What material is that? The black
That's
part?
slate.
Slate?
This piece?
Yeah.
Slate.
It's plastic slate?
No, it's stone.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It's just a fascia. The regular roof is asphalt.
You'll see some pictures of the interior of this house as well.
It's on it.
Yeah. And then we had some painting brick can be quite controversial for some people. Either some people hate it, other people love it. We like it. a lot. We just think that the way that repointing all this brick, even though we did do that, we just wanted to create a more modern feel, especially when we were considering the clientele much more contemporary now, the people that are coming into these neighborhoods.
And this was winter time, so at the end it was all plants and everything, but
Yeah.
winter time you obviously can't do that.
Yep, so that was just a fun exterior facelift for that. This was actually the same, this might be a different property, it could be the same, I can't remember. But nasty, just nasty.
I was gonna say.
This was actually on the Zillow listing too. If you
Like that?
Like that,
Oh, no.
and then we did that.
Ah.
So, we reconfigured the layout here, so the toilet moved to the other side of the bathroom. We did a walk-in shower instead. Many customers of ours are asking for the walk-in shower, which is really nice. Actually, this is the black brick house. So while we were working, and then we created that. So when it comes to design, there's no rule book. You can really, as long as everything being introduced to the space is speaking to each other and playing nice, you can really do something that's daring in most people's eyes, but making something that's super unique, but also elegant and sophisticated at the same time. We love to mix and match materials like brass and like matte black. We love marble. It's a bathroom, even though some people can't live with marble in wet spaces. We achieve the look otherwise. Introducing a shower niche for products is also more a modern thing. Everyone has tons of shampoo, body wash, face wash, whatever. Aromat, maybe not used so much, but so there's that. This was a big property in Bay Ridge that we did. It was a multi-family originally, and we converted it to a single family. So everything had to go. Nothing about the existing footprint made sense.
Put a new skyline.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The roof. There's no roof. It was just, we had to take everything out, and then we created that.
Nice.
Yeah. So white, as you can see, is pretty popular with clients. It does, especially when if someone is only living in a space for a certain amount of time, white kitchens tend to still create that mass broad appeal. But we want to do something unique with the hood range, so breaks up the white a little bit too.
Yeah, it's very focal.
Yeah, the black on where the stools are, just
Very cool.
something that's a little bit more interesting. The light oak floors also a really nice touch as well.
Everyone's afraid of black until you actually show them on the property, then they're like, wow, this is cool.
Black is a great neutral. And then more like logistically construction speaking, we did split units throughout. Some customers like HVAC, some like the split units. Just all depends on their needs and how much they're willing to spend on that part.
And budget.
And budget, yeah.
Very pretty.
Thank
So
you.
you're saying that the white kitchens are still in?
Yeah, I mean,
We see that, yeah.
I like to introduce something else if I can. We're actually building a kitchen in off Ocean Parkway right now, where I strayed her off the white kitchen route because she was going for a more modern Victorian Tuscan feel, which is a very challenging design to put together, but it's turning out very nice. So we went with a more taupe color, which is kind of like a gray with brown undertones to it.
Classic white will always be.
Yeah, that.
Always be.
Yeah, it will always be in. You can go a different shade if you're reluctant with a cool standard white. You can do a creamier white.
It's coming back, which is crazy. Glass block, which is like giving me nightmares.
Really?
So yeah, that's coming back.
In what way?
Just like bathrooms, we're seeing it all over the place.
Oh my god.
It's kind of scary.
Yeah.
Not for me,
Yeah,
but
but things like you know how things are. Come in like fashion comes in, comes out, trendy. Yeah. But again, like
I'd like to
That's-
see how they use it in modern life.
there's some cool ones, but most are not my favorite. But it's the same thing. How the property is used. Like if it's for an end user, you do that. If it's a resale, you probably do white cabinets. That's what we customize based on your client's needs.
like we'll renovate. We've done some projects for landlords who own multiple buildings throughout the city.
So
and
that's
they-
durability, it's resale value, and it's just making sure that most of you have large grout lines. You have a ton of grout lines that get mold and mildew. So building for a property developer is different than building for an end user. It's more making sure it stays clean and they can't destroy your property
Yeah,
as best as possible.
something that can withstand the test of a tenant. So here's the house that I mentioned that was abandoned for 12 years. This was the outside. These were the 2 windows that we ended up closing up. That's where the kitchen is now. But this was just like a sunroom. It was very strange. It just looked really sad. But then we gave this a facelift. Instead of doing like black everywhere, we did a very like warm white to the brick exterior. We made it warm by introducing like a picket fence. And Stina, I love that color that we did.
Approximately, how much will cost a project like this one? Like outside and
The exterior?
Per square foot?
Let's say this house. I mean, to change everything inside and outside, it's really a big job.
It's hard to say, but like
Beautiful.
square footage wise, you're looking around like the mid 200s a square foot.
I
If
see.
you're looking at interior reno with finishes, again, this is a wide range. You go like to John's point, you could do a tile that's $10 a square foot, you can do a tile that's $100 a square foot. I mean, if you're looking in the mid 200s,
I
That
see.
includes materials?
materials and finishes.
So when we put a scope of work together, depending on how we structure the proposal and what the client's needs are, we will do what our proposals include are like the tools, the supplies, the demolition, the labor, the non-sexy things as we like to call it, plumbing, electrical.
Sheetrock.
But finishes are always separate because when we're putting these scopes together, we don't necessarily know what materials. We haven't curated anything yet for them. We haven't been hired to design anything. So to Mike's point, you can spend 99 cents a square foot on a basic white subway tile, which is still a vibe. It works well, and you can still make it, aesthetically pleasing, or you can spend.
So that's the beauty of all this job. If you use something cheaper and make it nicer, that's the really creative, like.
Exactly.
We
I
go
mean,
some-
to do expensive stuff, it's easy because I can buy the top stuff and install it, but the beauty of the job is to make it nice with cheaper money.
100%. And a lot of times we see the more expensive projects for our competitors, not just our competitors, but a lot of people that just because you're spending a lot of money doesn't make it nice. Right, so you gotta curate. We actually built a neighbor too. This house too, we built.
Maybe 6 months later.
Yeah, about that.
And there's pictures of that house and
Yeah, we
coming
built
up.
all of them. And we got that job from this one.
Yeah, because we like to make friends with the people that are living nearby. We know too many times where friends of ours or family members of ours were very upset with a contractor working next door, making all of this noise, being nasty, disrespectful, working at odd hours of the night. So we like to tell them, hey, this is Mike and Johnny from My Beautiful Home. We're going to be renovating here for a little bit. If there's any problems, these are our personal phone numbers. Please make sure that you reach out to us if there's anything that happens. We want to make sure that we don't disturb your everyday life, but that we're able to complete our job as quickly as possible without creating a crappy product. So we communicate with them as much as we communicate with our
That's really
clients.
professional.
Yeah. Again, we knew that our industry was ripe for opportunity to change because of our bad experiences with contractors on our own before we got into the game ourselves. So far it's resonating with people. I guess I didn't. I think I might have taken out the other pictures of the house next door.
We could show you a bunch this week.
Yeah, so essentially, I guess for next steps, whenever you guys, or whoever's listening, that's working with any sort of home buyer or even a seller, and they're asking you any sort of renovation questions, look at us as a resource for you. Even if they're in the very, very early stages of purchasing a future home, we are more than happy to provide you with insight on the properties that they're considering. Once they're in contract, we can schedule an in-person walkthrough with both you and your client, providing all of our insight, but also putting together a scope of work based on their specific needs for that particular
We turn
property.
around scopes in 3 days or less. We don't drag it out 3 days or less. Usually quicker than 3 days, but we have a process that we see even a full gut in 3 days or less. We give you a full estimate scope.
And I didn't mention this earlier, but other projects that we've been working on a lot lately are renovation loan projects. Like there's a program with HUD called 203K, if you're familiar.
Yeah.
We've done a handful of those recently. We learned quickly why most contractors run away from them, but we saw it as an opportunity to use our expertise, especially in the corporate world.
They don't have the capital that you have to, the contractors do the work before you get paid, so that eliminates a lot of contractors.
And also just the paperwork too. There's a lot of
It's
paperwork.
not an easy deal, but can be done.
Yes. So essentially, Mike can go into the details if you guys are curious, but they essentially generate a rough idea of how much the property would be worth post renovation.
It's completed appraisal.
As complete appraisal, and then they issue the customer a loan on top of their mortgage for the property, specifically towards renovations.
A lot of guidelines.
There's a lot of guidelines, and there's also a person in the middle between us and the program.
It's a good program.
It's a great program.
It's good for protecting customers against dishonest contractors, honestly. We don't mind because we pass the inspections, we're honest, so for us it's good. It just puts a check mark on the work we do, so for us it's free money.
So the consultant will look at our scope of work, it's already approved, but making sure that everything on that scope of work was done or complete, and then they go back to the program, and then we're paid directly from the program, not from the customer. So, well, it's another layer of complexity. That's another value add, right? We're managing all of those moving parts for our customers, so they can just essentially do the fun stuff.
They can put 5% down on a property and still do the renos. So you can do 5% down to purchase, to acquire, and that you don't have to put additional for the renovation. So if you have clients that are first-time home buyers or a little bit less liquid to buy the property, you can still renovate with 5% down. So it's a good program. It opens up home ownership to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Any questions for us? Or?
I just want to say, just to add to the value that you bring to us and our clients, like for example, right now, I have like 4 different clients that are in very different situations. However, all of them are finding these consultations very beneficial. So basically, one is the person that I sold to, now they're making an extension on their house. Again, like very important for them to also connect with someone that, you know, is a professional and will get the job completed. The other, we have a new construction coming up, and instead of just using the same template over and over again, me and Caroline already had a few meetings with a designer such as yourself, and we're looking at everything from layouts to finishes to, you know, functionality, because I don't think
Sorry.
because sometimes the architects don't see things that way, and they're just making the same product, and we're kind of going above and beyond, making that very special and very unique, so that we can bring a really unique luxury product to the market that doesn't really exist. So that's been really interesting for me personally too, because the builder's also open to it, you know. And then one of the clients is getting ready to sell. They want to make certain improvements, and I've made it a point like 100 times, like, please, before you do anything, please just let us have a consultation with a designer, myself, so that you have a good return on investment, because you have to kind of take your personal taste almost out of it at this point. And to your point, like, let's get creative with certain finishes, because we are looking to sell, we're looking to make money on it, we're not looking to put in like the nicest things and something that you like personally, as opposed to what the next person will be looking.
It's not about you, it's about the person buying.
Exactly. So like so many different situations, but everyone needs that guidance.
Yes, absolutely. I'm sure as a real estate broker yourself, you're a therapist first, then your job is pretty much secondary, right? So that emotional aspect is something that you really have to delicately navigate, and every need is different too. So when in that particular case, we want to curate a design or a renovation that's going to attract as many people as possible by considering how people live nowadays, depending on how much renovations need to be done. But going back to your comment about architects, we like to work with them in a way where we tell them our vision, or the flow, how we'd like the flow to be based on the client's lifestyle or what they want, what we think is optimal, and they'll tell us, yes, you can do that, or no, you can't, or yes, you can, but you need to do a new header here.
To make sure it's coded.
So there's so many codes, like codes vary by borough.
Sometimes by block.
By block too. So there's so many things that people don't realize, that like you can't just do every single thing that you want. We also build for other interior designers. Although we design our own spaces too, we learned that many designers who are renovating spaces don't have an in-house construction team such as ours. So
that is very unique.
Yeah.
Because what happens is like a lot of people, they have to work with someone they've never worked with before, and they don't know the styles, you know, like in the communication, all of that is a mess.
Yes. It's fun, and just going back to your point about networking, the power of networking is so crucial in our respective industries, right? I met these interior designers at an event at a showroom not too long ago, and we just hit it off. It doesn't always happen like that. You know, some events can be hits or misses, as we all know. But just following up and doing those subtle touch points to remind professionals of our services and that we just generally exist and how we're different than other people they may have worked with before, just gets people remembering you, and then eventually that referral comes in. So we're doing 2 projects with her as we speak. Just by me being in the right place at the right time, it's kind of crazy how grassroots this building of a company has been. But we don't know how it will evolve in the next 5 years or even a year from now.
Grassroots and no sleep.
Yeah.
That goes to your point, because like so many people have experienced this like industry in the traditional way, and what you're doing is unique and different because you felt like there is a need for it, and let me fill in that void. And like this is why, like for me personally, like I relate to your, you know, work ethics, because we're literally doing the same thing, you know, in our own way, because these conversations are so important. At the end of the day, those clients do come to us to, you know, and to bring them results, but if we're not involved from the initial stage, it's very difficult then to bring them the results they're looking for. So it's really good to get into the conversation early on and really be a part of that process with them, so that all of us are making the right decision.
Exactly. We're like that Monday walkthrough we're going on. It was a very unique case, but they were considering $3 million townhomes in Park Slope, and I would drive them around for months, just showing properties with them. They would call me all the time, and we got to a point like maybe they're just not able to they're not really able to make a decision as quickly as we thought, but they're finally in contract and I met them 8 months ago, and we're finally touring a house that they're actually going to purchase. But it was lots of conversations of being real with them. Like, look, you guys are spending a lot of money on a property that's going to need a substantial amount of work. And to them, they had a set budget in their mind, but it wasn't what they wanted to do in these properties wasn't achievable with that budget. So it was pretty much a dance with us, the agent, and the
How does that relationship work? Do they like already sign a contract with you that you go out with them on?
We feel that. I mean, to be real, depending on the client,
because
you guys profile.
Like you
we
said, this
profile
could take
client
years
based
too.
on
Right.
profile
For you.
based on certain factors, right? We make sure that it makes sense. Again, is it science? No. But I mean, we understand if it's someone who's a solid referral source, we'll go out and help them. I mean, the reality is in sales,
That's
you
very
lose more than you
nice,
win.
because people don't have that vision.
No, we building a long-term company. When we started, 2020?
We're like 4.5 years.
Yeah, our first job was $200. We did a bedroom, was $230.
It was
And we were high-fiving like we just won the lottery.
Yeah, I was hired.
It was like $220.
Yeah, we were
It cost us
hired.
more to get there today.
It was a guest bedroom in Los Angeles, and I just picked out all, like, you know, duvets, area rugs, headboards.
In LA, you said?
In Los Angeles, yeah.
We've done a couple of remote. We've done Colorado, LA.
We did 2 bathrooms remotely, one outside of Boulder in
How do you
Colorado.
do that?
They were just referred to us, and they were responsible for having their contractor do it. We haven't done it since, just because
It's more like giving insight, right?
Right, so because
Like Roxy.
the blueprints, we
Same
do the
thing.
layouts, we draw the layouts, we design it, we tell them what tiles to order, everything like that. So remote advising, as I said, but we did a few in California and Colorado. We did staging in our early days, but that's its own business. If you do that, it's tough. Not like ours isn't, but it's just something that we.
Different animal.
Yeah, we're just very passionate about doing renovations and transforming spaces, and it's been fun, and we're really thankful for the opportunity to speak with
Thank you.
all of you guys.
You guys do everything like from the permits and stuff, and the start and
Yep,
everything?
So we could, if
Oh,
you
wow.
come to us and say, I know
Full
nothing
package.
about anything, we could work with, we have architect partners that We dole certain architects for certain projects based on the need of the customer, the budget. We do architectural plans, permits, everything from you walking in to me handing you a key. We will. But we'll help you out.
Great.
It should be fun. Like it.
We even
people
have real estate search. Good.
Right,
We have
like-
a lot of our businesses we develop ourselves too. So we build buildings, we build houses on the side for ourselves, and knowing the expertise, having a designer can make anything pretty, right? But we want to make sure it matches your business, right? At the end of the day, it's not us, but you guys, right? At the end of the day, you're not going to work with us unless you see a value to your business. Let's be real, this is your life, right? So we want to make sure that every time we interact with your customer, professional, we give them communication and just give you a little bit of the edge against your competition. I mean, there's nothing, we're not doing anything, changing anything magic, right? We're just standing behind our word, and like we said, our past customers and referrals and our work proves to us we're doing something right. So for us, it's, it may not be every single customer of yours. We're not gonna get every single one, we understand that, but if you give us the opportunity, we respect, your business, and we'll do what we do for other people. And if we can't, we'll tell them before we get involved. This doesn't make sense. We're like a physician. Sometimes you have to. Sometimes you have to deliver news that has to be said. We'd rather just tell you honestly what's possible, what's not possible. Then it doesn't help anybody to sign somebody
like
else.
You're saying, you're managing their expectations and your own reputation.
Right.
That's what it is.
Absolutely.
Anyone could say yes, take a job, rip the house apart, and disappear. We don't do that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want someone doing it to my parents. I'd never do it to someone else.
Yeah.
So
I will say it's funny when the two of us go on a walkthrough together, we find that even though HGTV is not real life at all, I think people are looking for that experience, that what they see on TV. And I think because the two of us are going in this space together and showing them that this can be a fun, interactive experience, the customers that get it. They really want to work with a team that understands them personally, rather than just being like, you tell me what it is that you want, where it goes, and I'll install it for you. It's much more.
we actually care how it looks.
Yeah, we actually care. So.
But most of the
I
clients,
agree.
they don't really picture it
I feel,
with the design. So what do you do in that part? Because this is hard when you explain it, they don't get it.
It's a very good question, because we do mood boards, because if sometimes you might not like one particular piece, but next to 3 other pieces it goes together, right? So that's part of our frustration and skill, is to always say, okay, you might hate this vase by itself, but we put it all together, it blends in,
Right.
right? Because a lot of our customers honestly lack a little bit of imagination, and they need a little. Sometimes we have to push you to be a little bit more adventurous.
Do you do virtual staging for them for that visual? Or
We don't do. We do mood boards.
Well, we also do renderings of
Do
like
renderings.
so
So I'll show you the way the
kitchens.
kitchen will look before it's built. Right. I'll
Right.
show you the mood boards, the materials. You'll feel some materials, and then go from there. Right. But some people's risk tolerance are do whatever you want. Some people are. It's got to be this, this, and this. It's just custom to each person.
Yeah.
But we try to get you a little bit uncomfortable, because it makes it more fun.
Yeah.
For us too. Selfishly.
yeah, I dealt with contractors where I was like, okay, I would try to explain, because I don't know, like you're saying, like every detail and where it should go and whatnot. And the answer was like, well, what do you want? Where do you want it to go? I'm like, I don't think that's how it works.
That's not how it works.
I like not that I know a lot, but like in this particular, like you probably have to tell me, because I can't just put a sink anywhere I want, because there's the
Right,
electric
the
and the
line,
plumbing. Like
yep.
you have to kind of step in and tell me what will work, and
Right.
then we'll figure out the kind of make the decision together. But I don't think it works like that. But I've gotten it so many times.
Yeah.
Well, what do you want?
It's very simple to be honest.
You just tell
What
me
I want is different.
what I want.
Any other questions for something? Obviously, thank you guys
No,
for your
we're
time.
good.
And
Yeah.
so this is all my personal contact information. This, I believe, takes you to our Instagram page. We have 3 projects underway right now. One that we just finished last night. So that particular project should be posted or like photographed very soon as next week. So the other ones are very much unique in their styles too. So we just want to show people exactly the various styles that every person has, and that we're not just staying within one sort of box or frame. So email, that's my cell phone, our website, and an Instagram, but the QR code will take you there.
I'm
But
already
again,
following you.
awesome.
Thank you.